Hey guys, Josh here, and today I thought we'd take a look at FansProject's Diesel, which is the final member of the FansProject Stunticons. This guy is supposed to resemble the G1 Motormaster, so they did a very good job. I like all the purple here that resembles that of the G1, and I do have him for a comparison as well. They got a lot of nice little paint apps here in the cab section. As you can see, the purple and the silver on the smokestacks, and here in the front with the yellow lights. I mean, they could have, just said that we're not going to add that, and it would have still looked fine, but I like the little extra touches they did. As far as the wheels go, they're that kind of plastic. They're not rubber or anything. They're kind of like the rest of the Stunticons, but all the wheels, I mean, they have no problem all rolling all at the same time, so very nice job there. Everything is well balanced. This does have quite a bit of weight to it as well. Not quite a pound, but it's still quite heavy, and it's very large as well. I took some pictures and I put them on Twitter, so maybe some of you guys saw those. It really does a nice job of hiding the robot all over the place. I mean, the only part that you really see is this section right here, and you couldn't clearly make that to be out the leg. So I do have this little section here that does come off. It just fits in there with two little pegs. Now, it does come with a little extra one here. Apparently, I guess the handle wasn't fitting into Motormaster or Diesel's hand very well. So what they did is they threw in an extra set, and then you just reattach all these little pieces. So this is supposedly the bad one, so we'll put it over to the side. And this is going to be part of the gun, which we'll get into, and the back pieces do as well. First off, let's do a couple of comparisons. Here he is. This is the only guy that I decided to transform that's part of the FansProject Stunticons. You have Breakdown, or is it, I forget what they're calling him, Car Crash. As you can see, him, as far as size scale goes, he's a little bit shorter than half the cab there. Then whenever you look at the G1 Motormaster, yeah, big difference there. You can see that Breakdown here is a little bit longer than the cab. So this was, not very close to, in real life scale, to where if you look at this, then this is a lot more accurate to what, you would see in real life. Let's go ahead and take a look at these two guys side by side, and you can kind of see the huge difference here. And they also paid a lot of attention to, the way this looked and tried to make this, kind of the same, with the purple lines and everything. Just needs a few Decepticon symbols. So very nice job there. And there's the back there. Alright, now taking this guy where he looks like he would separate and split right here. This is actually, part of the transformation. We'll get into him in a bit. This guy does split in half. So you just grab it here and pull it apart. This section is going to have all his, Minosaur or M3 or Intimidator mode stuff inside. So they did a really good job with that. This section here, we're going to pull this off, and we will set this to the side. We won't need that until later. This, you can put it on here, and let's see if I can get it on there real quick. There we go. And so you can have like a little bit of a shorter version, and it's about the same size as Motormaster there. And here it is with a Breakdown, so you kind of get the idea. Alright, so far as the weapon goes, we're going to take this section off. We'll set him to the side, and you're going to come out with these three pieces. Fold these around. One of the complaints that I have is, since this is the outside and these just kind of peg together like this. This is gray, obviously, and it would show gray there, but why not make the inside of it purple so that it would resemble more of, his G1 gun? So we'll take a look at that here in a second. And then you could have made, this whole section purple as well, which, it's not that big of a deal because it just plugs onto the back, or you can put it off to the side. But that's something that I think they kind of missed the boat on. But go ahead and fold these together. And these kind of make, I guess, what you would call maybe little shotguns or something like that. So they're all right. They're not that impressive. But what you're supposed to do is take this section here. You're going to pop this section off here. This slides out. And this slides out as well. Set this to the side. You're going to take this piece, and it's going to just tab on there. If I can get it on there. There we go. And do the same with that one. There we go. And this section right here is just going to slide in there. And just make sure all that lines up. Then you're going to slide this one at the end here. And this section right here, I believe it just connects right there. And so now you have, I guess you could say Motormaster, or even, you know, Minosaur Intimidator. I'm just going to call him Minosaur and Motormaster from here on out. But you have his nice gun. It's pretty decent looking. Here you have the G1, so you can kind of get an idea what they were going with. I don't know if they were trying to make it exactly the same, but as you can see what I was talking about, everything they could have made purple and it wouldn't have taken away from the overall design of the trailer. So that's something I think they, you know, messed up on, but not too bad. Alright, going ahead and getting into this guide, another thing that he does come with is this thing. It came separate in the package and I couldn't find anywhere to where it plugged in to kind of hide it. So I haven't figured that out yet, but I'm sure it does plug in somewhere. Alright, now getting into the transformation. First thing that we're going to do is pop this section off here. Go ahead and pop this section as well. These kind of come to the side. And these will fold up and just kind of accordion around. And do the same with that one. You can spin these around. And you can connect these together. They'll have like little clips. Come down with the wheels. Do the same with this one as well. There we go. And you just kind of leave them out to the side. Make sure everything's showing up on camera. Alright, now for the next section, I just kind of pull this back to kind of give me a little bit of room. Separate here and separate here. There we go. And come down with this section. And you're going to bend right here. You'll see that this obviously becomes the waist. You're going to bend these legs down. Just like so. And then you're going to spin this waist section. This part's connected to this and this section down here, so it's going to turn at this joint. And you're going to spin that around 180. There we go. And then when you get around to here, I'm just going to separate them a little bit, give myself some room. Come out. Oops. Come down with that as well. And the legs are a little bit tricky. Going to come down with this and you can snap that into place. Do the same with this one. Snap that into place. Those are going to be the feet. And when you come back with this section, you're going to want to pull back here where the window kind of caves in. And just like that. The same with this one. My first time transforming this guy, I had a little bit of trouble. So, you know, if you're kind of struggling with it at the very beginning, and you'll just kind of move this foot around, as you saw right there, just move it back around and just twist around. Just do it a couple of times, and you'll end up. It gets a little bit easier as you go. This is really only my third time transforming this guy, so hopefully don't mess up any. There we go. Do this leg as well. You'll come down with foot here, bring that around, and just keep on twisting it around. There is a peg in here and a little slot there that'll fit there, and then you can come around with this section here and that'll close up, and there you have basically, you know, the leg sections done. Now with the chest section, come up and again get these little things out of the way. This is going to unplug here and unplug there as well. Set those to the side. And you can take these little trailer pieces off as well. I'll show that here in a bit. Come down with this. You have these two pegs and those two holes. Come down with that. Open this chest section, or you have it open. You can push the head up. Close that up. Spin that around. These shoulders will rotate up, so they were down like this. Rotate that section up just like that, and then you can close the chest section up, and there you go. Now with this part, come back with this, come back with this. these push up out and they or push out on, and they automatically reveal the hands. The same with this one, and then you can just rotate here at the wrist. Alright, now taking a look at the robot mode, I gotta say that I really like the way that the black and the grays go together. As you can see, there's black and then gray, the black and gray, so it really breaks it up, and it's not just like big solid black piece here, big solid gray piece. Also, whenever you throw in the other little highlighted colors like silver, purple, yellow, really kind of brings everything out with the guy. Really dig it. The only thing that's I wasn't a big fan of is the little podrons or little connector pieces here in the shoulder. You can push those down to where you don't see those anymore, but the only unfortunate part about that is it's going to hinder this bicep swivel. So if you want to rotate him at the bicep, you're going to pull that up so you can see that that can bend now. But let's go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a 360. Looks very nice. Now, I know somebody was talking to me on Twitter. They said that I just don't like this back kibble back here. There's a ball joint just back here, and you can pop those off, and you don't have to worry about that now. So you can just set them off to the side. So it kind of gives you a little bit better look there. It doesn't have all that kibble now. Very clean looking. But just because it's supposed to be on there, I'm gonna pop it on and go from there. Get that on there. There we go. But that kind of takes that away from him, and he looks a lot more like Motormaster that we saw in the original G1 cartoon. But as far as articulation goes, I'm going to take his gun out, set it to the side. It does rotate here at the head. Make sure everything's on camera. It does go up and down, kind of side to side there, so quite a bit of movement there. As far as the shoulder, it can go up and down here. You can also rotate right here as well. Rotate at the bicep, double jointed elbows, and rotate at the wrist. Does rotate at the waist. So you can hear this snap here. There you go. And it just depends on how far it can go. Is these things in the way, or the little waist flap sections for the Minosaur mode. As far as the hips, these go all the way forward. They can go all the way back. You just got to move this back, flap section here. They can go all the way up quite a bit. Rotate at the thigh. His knee bend is actually down. Where's it? Down here. There you go. And so it could bend like 90 degrees there. Just getting it back the way it's supposed to, though, is a bit of a chore. Then he's got a little bit of ankle rocker, here in the ankle. So you get him into some decent poses. But this guy's not done yet. He does have a kind of like all armored up mode. But before we get into that, I thought we'd get into some comparisons. I will go ahead and give this guy's gun back and show you that head sculpt real quick, in case you haven't seen that. Little cartoon looking, but that's kind of how they did all these Stunticons with the FansProject set. So gives you an idea there, and give you a better look up close to this guy. A lot of nice detail. As far as the paint, the purple and yellow and everything's in the lines. Nothing's like splattered, all over the place. So really nice job there. So setting this guy off to the back. See what it looks like with, let's grab Mastermind Creations Fortis. And you can see that Fortis is a little bit shorter than him. Get this guy to stand here. But not too bad there. As you can see, the head-to-head. This guy's a little bit taller there. This guy's also thicker, though, as well. Another guy that you guys might have by now, there's Voyager Springer from the Generations line. Again, he is quite a bit taller there. Probably a little bit more than a head. And here's always got to grab at least one G1. There is a G1 Sideswipe. And you know what? Let me grab this guy, just because it's by the Masterpiece shelf. There's one of the much larger Masterpiece figures. As you can see, it's a little bit taller though. All right, now taking a look at his little buddies here. All these Stunticons together. You get a good look at what they all kind of look like together. And my overall thoughts so far, I haven't got this guy into his Minosaur mode yet, but so far, overall thoughts, I really do dig this. You know, I love all the individual little figures here. Love both of their modes, and it was just very, very cool. It was, you know, very cool, you know, take on these Stunticons, and I think FansProject did a fantastic job. There's some transformations that get a little fiddly, you know, with downforce here. I'm always afraid that those things might break, and sometimes his feet are a little bit, you know, difficult to shove into him. And there's some very sharp pieces on here to where whenever you're trying to move something and get your finger in there, you might even cut yourself. So this is definitely not a kid set. But you know, they say that whenever you look at the, you know, instructions and things like that. Kind of get a little bit bigger look here. Here he is with the G1, and we'll go ahead and grab, you know, all their little guys here so you can see them all together, and I got all their little weapons equipped. Get the general idea what they were going for. So very cool set. I'm a big fan of the Stunticon, so this was something that, you know, I was definitely going to buy as soon as I heard about it. There is another Stunticon set coming out by Warbatron. So even if you don't like this one, you do have another option out there. You know, it's probably going to be a little bit bigger than this one, just because I'm, you know, looking at their Bruticus and seeing how they were doing that. But you know, it's nice to get a few options out there. So we're going to take this guy and set him over here to the side for the moment, and we have this second piece of the trailer here that, you know, we never got into. Now we have this piece, set that to the side, and this. Now I've already removed the Minosaur hands, or Intimidator, or M3, whatever you want to call them. I'm just going to keep on calling them Minosaur. Already removed those. I'll get more into it later, but as you can see, there's a ball joint there. There's a knuckle there. You have individual ball joints and also knuckles that bend individually as well. So a lot of articulation there. This section here, you're going to split it apart there. You have this piece of the sword, this piece of the sword, and that piece of the sword. We can go ahead and put that together. Take these two ends. And this is one of the complaints I do have about this, just because of the fact that the G1 was that chrome goodiness there. And if you guys have seen any of my videos, you know I love chrome or gold or stuff like that. Since these fit on, you know, the outside of the trailer, they could have, you know, done the colors just like that. But on the inside, why not make that chrome? You know, that's something that, you know, I think would have made it look a little bit better. And I'm sure some, you know, Dr. Wu or some other little third-party weapon maker person will come out with something. Slide that onto that end and plug that in. And there is your giant sword. As you can see, look at the difference there between this and the G1. Let me grab Diesel again. You can see that it's taller than Diesel as well, so very large sword. Alright, now setting that to the side, we have these two pieces that are pretty much, they're exactly the same. You just take this guy off and, you know, set him to the side. Now you could also fit this guy and pull that little section out, and he could be like a little shield. We'll go ahead and equip him with that. Don't remember Motormaster ever having a shield, but, you know, there you go. Right now with these two sections, basically what we're going to do is split, or this actually, I believe, comes up, just like so. Splits up, just like that. This can slide out then. Do the same with this one here. Pull up on this section here, and slide out. And now you have these two sections are exactly the same, and these two sections are exactly the same. What you're supposed to do with this is slide these out, just like this, and slide this one out, and then come down with them. The only problem is, you're going to do it on this one as well. These two sections right here, they end up hitting each other. So whichever one you're going to do on the inside, I just leave it just like that, so you can kind of see. It's kind of far away. Do the same thing with this one. Flip this one, or, you know, we'll leave that one there. We'll flip this one out and bring these back down. And this is supposed to be kind of his, like, I don't know, this is like some weird armored up mode. I don't know if I'm a big fan of it. It looks, to me, it looks a little ridiculous or a little overkill. But you do have these little pegs right here on each side, and there's these slots right here. So this is, I'm going to bend that back a little bit. There we go. And pop that in there. And we'll do the other end. Pull it out so we can move this back. And we'll put that one in there as well. And that's what I was talking about. If both those sections were pulled out, then there's not enough room in there. But now you have these guns and missiles here at top. Bring that up for you so you can see a little bit better. So he's all armed up there, but you can still put more stuff on him if that wasn't enough. These sections, you can see that I guess is supposed to be a gun and these little rockets or something like that. And you have the section here that will fit on the side. These are a little bit harder to get on and work with. Come on, dude. There we go. Oh, crap. And I think over time this would probably weigh your figure down quite a bit. So I don't know if I would pose them this way very often. You know what, I'm just going to take this piece off and we'll do it just like we did that one. And I'm going to do the Minosaur combine mode, I don't know if I mentioned already, on Wednesday. Just because I thought this was just going to be way too much stuff to cover in one video. And if someone was just wanting to watch one particular part, then, you know, they don't have to sit through the rest of it. So, right, and there you have Motormaster in his, what is it, M3 mode or Motor Military Awesome mode or something, I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot going on there. As you can see, he still balances just fine. One additional touch here that you can do, move this section up, and there's a tab there, and you have a tab or the slot there on the sword, and you can put his sword on him. And there you go. And again, compared to the original G1, much more large and intimidating. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Like I said, I'm going to have the fully combined mode, and I'm going to be going from scratch from their little car mode or robot mode, haven't decided yet, and put him into Minosaur and do all the little bells and whistles. And I'm going to have a ton of comparisons as far as other third-party combiners and a lot of G1 as well. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later.